The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitor center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, good morning and happy snowy Saturday. Hope you're all doing well, and thank you for joining us here at Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels. We have a great show in store for you. I'm going to give you a little hint before. What is this? The show's over. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Jeff. We have a great show in store for you, and I do encourage you to stick around because I think you're going to be fascinated by our guest today and what we're going to be talking about. At least personally, it is for me, and I can't be more excited. I feel like it's Christmas morning here. Okay, as always, I encourage you to give us a call at 753-5225 if you have a question for my guest, myself. If you have an announcement for your club or organization, we're happy to get that on the air. And as you know, it's always free of charge. And if you are interested in getting an announcement in ahead of time, we always encourage you to try to get in a couple of weeks earlier. Send it to us at the station here, or you can always email me, and we'll get it into our messages for that week or month or whatever it is that's coming up. Also want to say good afternoon to our friends at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, New York. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and all our listeners over there and friends at the Reg and so forth. We're going to try to talk in pictures today because what we have to talk about is very visual, and we want to make sure that you can listen and get an idea of what we're talking about. So good afternoon and good morning to everyone. So glad you could join us. Okay, just a few things on a personal note. I want to send a happy anniversary to my wife. She's put up with me for 36 years. That's 36 years. Woo-wee. So happy anniversary, Barbara, my wife. Wow, have you seen the weather report? For down south, for all you snowbirds that are thinking about going south, just stick around for a little longer. I think it's safer up here. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Corpus Christi, Texas. I mean, holy mackerel, that's way, way down in there. They got like 7 inches of snow, 3 inches of snow, and so forth. And we're supposed to get some more, I guess, starting late tonight into the wee hours of the morning, right straight through Sunday. So Yeah, we talk a lot about it here on the show. Is take your time, plan ahead, clean off the windows, and especially if this is your first winter. Now people say, and everybody knows what to do up here. I actually know people who have just moved into the area from down south, and driving around here is a little different. So take your time, talk to your neighbors about some tricks of the trade, and make sure you got good tread. Okay, let's see what else we got going here. This show, as you all know, is for our communities, okay? And what we try to do is always bring topics of interest to you that hopefully I think are interesting and important. And as always, if you had an idea or a suggestion, send it along to us and we'll try to get to it, okay? So I have some announcements to share with you, and then we're going to take a little break, and then you're going to meet my guest, and we're going to talk about some really cool things. All right, let's go to Jamestown, New York at Infinity. Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Flapjack fundraiser is taking place right now. So if you're listening to this later in the week, too late. But if you are within the sound of my voice and in the next hour or so, if you go to, let's see, where is it? Applebee's in Lakewood on Fairmont Avenue, they are having pancakes, $6 per person, all the pancakes and bacon and drinks that you can eat. Santa will be joining guests for breakfast, and be sure to bring your camera. Of course, as always, proceeds go to the Infinity Center in downtown Jamestown. They also want you to know that they're looking for music, art, dance, and theater students of all levels to enroll in private and group lessons. The Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center will hold a new student orientation and intake session on Thursday, December 14th. Please contact Infinity at 664-0991 to register for a session and reserve your spot today. Students may also register online if you go to infinityperformingarts, all one word, .org, to be contacted for an orientation slot. Now, these orientation slots only last 30 minutes, and they include a tour of the Infinity Center and the opportunities to meet the staff there and so on. If you haven't been to Infinity, it's way cool. I wish we had something like this when we were all growing up, because I'm sure my music skills probably would have been much more advanced than they were back then when we were trying to figure out how to play our instruments and sing and all that good stuff. All right, also coming up, Infinity Arts Cafe Holiday Celebration will be held December 15th at 7 p.m., featuring live musical performances for the holidays by current Infinity students and instructors. The evening offers a great opportunity to experience Infinity in action. Okay, now this is a good one. I'm so excited about this one. I have like a double decker today. Home for the Holidays at the Reg Lene. Okay, that's happening today, December 9th. Tickets are still on sale. They are $8 to $10. No, excuse me. No. $10 to $18. They got this written back. Can we get that slide up, number 15? And online tickets are closing 1 hour before the performance. Now listen to this. A new Christmas tradition brings the family together for an afternoon of festive music, including the Panama Concert Choir, Helga Hulse, Russell and Hamels, yours truly, Southwestern Choralers, Pearl City Jazz featuring Rasmussen, Jamestown High School Madrigal Singers, Bill Ward and Friends, Gold Lazarus, and returning from last year, Ron Orbach, Marla Harris, and Steve Davis. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be doing our sound checks in just a couple hours, and the station manager, Dennis Drew at WRFA, he's put together a lineup featuring a wide array of musical talent from Jamestown and the Chautauqua region to perform traditional and modern songs of the season. Because it was such a good thing last year, they're going to do it again today. So today, from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, Home for the Holidays #2. So please join us. It'll be a lot of fun. And if I'm around, say hi. Okay, moving right along. Excuse me. Chicken and biscuit dinner. Today, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Ripley United Methodist Church. Pre-sale tickets are $7 from any VFW member, $8 at the door, $20 for a family of 4. Benefits the Ripley VFW Post 2769. So that's day only. Okay, a new project that's just come up in the last couple of weeks. Photos of Purple Heart recipients are wanted. My buddy Jim Kurtz over here in Mayville is looking for folks that have been awarded the Purple Heart, and they want your picture, whether it's from World War I, II, the Korean War, Vietnam War. If you have pictures, especially in uniform, if possible, with the Purple Heart, please give Jim a call at 753-7724. And they're on the slide, and we've read their names before, are folks that have already been awarded the Purple Heart over the years from various wars and so forth. Okay? Moving right along again, over to Westfield this time. Holiday open house at the McClurg Mansion. Tomorrow, the Chautauqua County Historical Society will say goodbye to 2017 with its annual holiday open house December 10, tomorrow. At the McClurg, which is that big white mansion building right smack dab in the middle of Westfield. The open house provides an annual opportunity for visitors to learn more about the museum and the Historical Society free of charge. And there are a couple of pictures. There's that beautiful staircase, carved wood, I guess it would be, and then some Christmas trees, and it's all decked out. And I'm understanding that much of that wallpaper is period style wallpaper. They've got paintings from that era, and just full of history of Chautauqua County. The day will feature music provided by the McClurg Street String Band, which is comprised of music students from Westfield Academy and Central School under the direction of the acclaimed and Grammy Award-winning music director Ken Knappenberger. Guests will also get to see a new exhibit focusing on the New York 112th Infantry Regiment of the Civil War, which includes portraits of several locals who fought while serving in the regiment. Okay, for more information, if you're interested to know more about tomorrow and their open house, give them a call at 326-2977. All right, and let's see. Pasta for Prevention. That's hard to say. Pasta for Prevention is a dinner sponsored by Casic. Homemade sauce and meatballs, takeout and drive-through is available. Tickets are $10, and that's happening this Wednesday, December 13th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at St. James Church Hall in Jamestown, New York. If you're interested in getting some of that good food, give them a call at 664-3608. And tickets are, I think I mentioned, $10 per person. Looks like a full meal there. Okay, then our friends who are now part of the Access 5 family here, Rolling Hills Radio, they want you to know that the December show is going to be at Shawbucks in Jamestown on December 18th. Headlining are two acts that will include David Michael Miller and Almond and Olive. Almond and Olive is a two singer-songwriters, Natalie Alms and Ollie Davidson. Let's see. The doors open at 5:30 and the show starts at 6:30. Tickets are available online through the Chamber of Commerce, so you go to chautauquachamber.org/events, or just go into their website. It'll say events, get in there, and tickets are sold. I did it for the Tom Paxton show that's coming up in February. Easy peasy, just have your credit card ready and you'll be all set. Okay, continuing on in Jamestown, the World Juniors Exhibition Games coming up on the 20th and 21st of December right downtown at the Northwest Arena. And you can see teams from Belarus and Slovakia who are world exhibition teams that have come into the area. And if you're really into hockey and would like to participate, tickets are $18 and $23. And if you give them a call at 484-2624 or stop by a variety of places at the, not variety of places, the Northwest Arena's box office, you can get your tickets there as well. Some mornings that tongue just doesn't work right. Okay, Fredonia Place, good friends up there. They want you to know that they're having a blood drive and holiday bazaar December 21st. They're looking for blood donors up there and vendors. They're going to have, let's see here. They're having a toy drive, and if you're interested, please drop off new toys and non-perishable food items to the front desk up there at Fredonia Place. And they're also collecting hats, scarves, mittens, gloves for children and adults. And they're also going to host a variety of choir groups, so please watch their Facebook for times and dates. So Fredonia Place, our good friends up there in Fredonia on Howard Avenue, they're really, really busy. Okay, we're going to tell you about one more thing, and then we're going to take a break here. So there's one more thing called Teen Intervene. Okay, this is going to take place Thursday, January 4th, from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. at the Sherman Central School. Teen Intervene is an evidence-based brief intervention program for youth ages 12 to 19 years old suspected of experiencing mild to moderate problems associated with alcohol and or substance abuse. Okay, if you're interested, it's $35 per person. It's very limited, and if you're interested, let's see, give CASIC a call, and they're the same folks that are doing the pasta for prevention, and you can give them a call at 664-3608. All right, folks, so that's all I have for today. So we're going to take a little public service announcement, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
And we're back, and this is Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and remember, if you want to give us a call at 753-5225 or text us, Twitter us, whatever it is you like to do, we're here for you. Call in. Okay, when I was a little kid, I was just telling this story to my guest, about 5 years old, I remember my mom used to encourage us to save our little allowance of whatever it was, 10 cents a week or whatever, and put it into a little metal tin box or something or other. It was like a little cash register. I can't remember what it was. I wish I still had it. And one day I was chunking with the little bank, and a couple coins fell out, and one of them caught my eye. And it was a mercury dime, and I just stared at that thing, and I just stared at that thing, and I thought, wow, this is just something special, because I was a little kid, I didn't know much about anything, and I believe that was the day that I became a coin collector. And I'm just a mediocre coin collector. I'm not like one of these fancy guys, but from that day forward, I just had this love affair with coins, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, and some other stuff. But I do want to welcome someone who is very much a part of what I love to talk about is coins. Barbara Fox, good morning and welcome to the show. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You came a little bit of ways to get here, and I do appreciate that. Do you know how I found you? I found you in a Post-Journal article.
Oh, right.
And sometimes when I'm reading the newspaper, I sit there and go like, I want to know more about this person. I want to know more about that topic. So I don't know if you're catching this or not. But anyways, Barbara, you were in the paper and talking about some of the things that you do, and we'll get to that in a minute. So the title that we have here is you're artistic, so you're an artist. So tell us about yourself a little bit and how you got involved with art.
Well, I've always been interested in art. I always drew and painted. When I was a kid, I was horse crazy, so all of my drawings and paintings were of horses. And I was an art major, studio art major in college. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to be a starving artist, so I focused on graphic design and illustration. Uh-huh. And I'm from California.
Oh!
And I worked as a self-employed graphic design and illustrator in California, in the San Francisco area for several years, and spread out into painting. I painted mostly in watercolors. And then I started doing designs for greeting cards. And so I had a little bit of hand in the commercial aspect of art and the fine art worlds. And the United States Mint put out a call for artists in 2007, and I applied, and it was quite a lengthy process. I had to send them a lot of paperwork. I had to send them my portfolio. And when those were accepted, I had to provide references, and I actually had to design a coin. They gave me an assignment, and I had to design a coin. So I was chosen. I was hired in 2007, and I had my first assignment in 2008. And so I've been working for them for almost 10 years now. And I've had to reapply a couple of times because they have put out new calls for artists, and with our contract we are allowed, those of us who are part of this program, it's called the Artistic Infusion Program, we're allowed to reapply. And so I feel very lucky, and I'm very grateful that I've been chosen every year that I've had to reapply.
So you're sitting and you're reading a magazine. Is that, how did you find out?
Oh, I found the call for artists online. I enter a lot of competitions, painting competitions, and so I was looking at this website where they will list the competitions, and there happened to be this call for artists on this website, and I thought, well, you know, I've had a lot of practice designing for greeting cards. I've done a lot of bas relief, which is what a coin is.
I mean, up the background is low. And
yes, it's sort of a flat relief. And
I do wood carving, so I understand.
Oh, right, okay.
So you reduce the background and you bring and let the image just sit there.
Right. So when they do that for greeting cards, you basically have to do a black and white drawing for them.
Okay.
And so I was a little familiar with that, and I applied for this job, and
Is this a full-time job?
It is not a full-time job. Through this program, we are independent contractors.
Okay.
Our contract says that we have to take one assignment that we are given a year. Usually we are given anywhere from 5 to 10 assignments a year. I take every one because I really enjoy it, and it is very time consuming when I do get assignments. And I'm self-employed, so when I get an assignment, everything else drops off the schedule. I don't do any painting. I quit doing commercial work for other companies, and I really focus on the coin design. Now we're given, when we get an assignment, we are usually given what side of the coin we're going to do. So that's either the obverse or the reverse, which is the heads or the tails. I've had to learn some new vocabulary words.
Yes, I've had to teach a few people that over the years that didn't know about coins.
And there's usually a very short description of what they would like to see, what the mint would like to see. Sometimes it's a very detailed description, but usually it's pretty short.
So give us an example of what they would ask.
Okay, well, I'll show you on my Saratoga. This is the 5-ounce design for the Saratoga quarter, which came out in 2015.
Okay.
And the assignment was to illustrate the importance of the Battle of Saratoga. And the reason that battle was important was because the colonists, the American colonists, won that battle against the English, against the British.
So it was a major event.
It was the first time anybody had ever won a battle against the British, where the British had surrendered.
That must have been a huge hit to the British Army.
It was crucial because it made the colonists believe that this was something that they could really do, that they could gain independence.
So when you were sitting in 5th and 6th grade and they were jamming all this history at you, were you listening?
No.
So, so now you say,
Probably
I
not.
should have listened to Mrs. Smith when she was
Yes, and that's the most fascinating thing for me, about designing coins is the research. I'm learning so much about about our history, and so many things that I never knew about. I mean, even people here in New York, they might have heard of Saratoga Springs, or they might have known that there were some battles fought in New York State, but really don't know these little nuggets of information that are so fascinating. And when we are given an assignment, usually we only have 3 weeks to turn in our finished design. I spend about a week just doing research. And I think on my PowerPoint presentation there's an image kind of showing my process.
Should we go through that?
Sure.
Okay, Jeff,
Yeah.
let's bring that up. We mentioned that earlier. So let's go one slide at a time. Okay. While he's doing that, this is not a normal coin. What is this thing?
This is a special coin. This is 5 ounces of 0.99% silver. And this is something that's sold, you can only buy it from the mint or from a coin dealer.
Right.
And it's the exact replica of the quarter, even George
There's George.
Washington on the other side. So I've been collecting these of my own designs. I have 5 quarter designs now that have been minted. And so I've bought these 5-ounce
Super.
designs.
And folks that are listening right now, what you can do is you can get an original Barbara Fox work in your change. Right?
That's right.
And
Yep.
and how you'll know is, let's see, Justin, can you get a close up on what? There we go. You can look and you can see it with your glasses or a magnifier, but you'll know that it's one of her works because there's a little tiny BF, right?
Yes.
Your initials there. And who's the other initials there?
The other initial is the engraver, the sculptor engraver who works at the mint.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So can we get a shot of that, guys? There. Oh, perfect.
There's the
Look at
BF
that.
on the-
So that's your initials.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I love that. I like to think that people are carrying these wonderful little pieces of artwork
You're
in
everywhere.
Their,
You're
in
around
their
the world.
pockets.
Here's a quick question. Any of your work go into outer space?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because they're always sending coins up
Yes.
in space and bringing them back
Yes.
and then charge you a fortune. So anyways, all right, let's go to the PowerPoint slides here and let's talk about the process. Okay, so what are we looking at?
Well, this is a program, the America the Beautiful program, started in, I think, 2009 or 10. And it was a program started by the Mint after all of the state quarters
That's right.
had been minted. It was, the state quarters worked very well for the Mint. They made a profit on minting all of the quarters because people started collecting
Oh,
them.
good Lord! It was a frenzy. Everybody had to find like Iowa. Where's Iowa? Or these
Yes.
low mintage things, and we were all scrambling. So
Yes.
so like, as you say, so after the 50th state, then they went to the territories,
They did.
and then they went to the
And
national
then
parks.
the America the Beautiful program focuses on national parks and national monuments. So each state gets to pick which national park or national monument they want to be featured on their quarter. And fortunately, every state has at least one national park
Okay.
or monument. Some of them only have one.
Okay.
So these are the 5 quarter designs that I won. I will say that it is a competition between the 16 artists in the Artistic Infusion
So
program.
there's only 16 of you that are vying. It's like a closed group.
16, and then there's 5 artists who are in the engravers and sculptors at the Mint,
Okay.
and they also design as well. So sometimes 5 or 6 of us will get the same assignment.
Oh, wow.
And we don't know what the other person is doing. And when we do the design and send it in, it goes to a couple of committees, including, in this case, with the America the Beautiful quarters, it will actually go to the park and the park directors, and sometimes they'll put together a little committee to look at the designs and decide which ones
They
they
send
like
stuff
the
back to you?
best.
Do they say we don't like this or?
Yes, yes.
Must make you look
There's
crazy.
almost always edits for the designs.
Okay.
It's a very long process. It can take up to a year before we find out if our design was chosen or not.
Jeff, can we bring that one slide back up again, please? Because for our listeners, I would like you just to describe the 5 quarters. So starting in 2011, how about just describe what it is and what's on it?
Well, this is at Glacier National Park for the state of Montana, and I designed a mountain goat. It's kind of perched on some rocks overlooking a valley, and in the back is I believe it's Mount Reynolds, and it's an iconic mountain in the park. The photographs of the mountain were provided to us by the park, and the goat itself. I contacted some friends who are photographers, professional photographers in Montana, and I asked them, do you have some photographs I could get the copyright for? And they were nice enough to send me quite a few photographs.
Wow.
So
have you ever been there?
I have never been there,
Oh, my
unfortunately. No.
Okay.
I wanted to draw a bear. I wanted to show a bear, but the Glacier National Park preferred the mountain goat because there aren't that many mountain goats in the United States. So it's a pretty iconic image for their park in particular.
This past spring, Barb and I, we went on a land trip, and I didn't see this, but I think we were in Montana, and she goes, "Oh my God!" And I go, "What?" And I thought, am I going to crash? And she goes, "There's a mountain goat right up there looking at me."
Oh my gosh.
So I think it
Yeah.
was something similar. Okay, so for the other coins, let's go through them again. So that there's a Glacier National Park, and
then the second one was Acadia National Park in Maine.
Okay, and that's just right around Bar Harbor, I think.
That's right, yes.
Okay, and I think I've been there. All right, and then we have...
Then it's the Saratoga National Historic Park, and this is an illustration of the British surrender.
Okay, so...
They would actually have a ceremony where they would pass the General Burgoyne, the British general, passed over his sword, his ceremonial sword, to General Gates, who was the general.
Okay, and that's what's depicted on this coin.
Yes.
See,
yeah.
I see these coins, I don't even know the history. Okay, so
Right.
the next one?
The next one is Cumberland Gap in Kentucky, and I have the wording first, doorway to the west. And that figure there is actually Daniel Boone.
I was just going to say, in school we always learned about Cumberland Gap and Daniel
Right.
Boone killed a bar.
Yes, I was very disappointed to find out he did not wear a coonskin cap. He wore this kind of it kind of looks like a floppy cowboy hat. But, and then he's holding the Kentucky long rifle. And I had a hard time getting that rifle right. Fortunately, I have some friends who are reenactors of mountain men reenactors, and they have some reproduction rifles, and I was able to take some photographs. Because when we send our designs in to the Mint, they turn them over to the Smithsonian for historical accuracy.
Holy mackerel.
And whoever was the expert about rifles really gave me a hard time about getting it right on that rifle.
Well,
so that's interesting.
You know the story about, I think it's Vermont used to have on their quarter, the Old Man of the Mountain? It fell off.
Oh, it did. Oh, no, I think that's New Hampshire.
Oh, New Hampshire.
Yes.
One of them, the thing fell right off.
It did it. I didn't know that.
Okay, so then the last one was
And then
Ellis
the
Island.
last one is
You can hold that one right up if you like. Oh, okay, we'll do
yeah,
both.
this one. This is Ellis Island. This came out just in August 30th, and of 2017, and so a lot of people are surprised to find out that this was the state quarter for New Jersey. I was surprised when I got the assignment. I thought, oh, it's New York's. No, wait a minute, I did New York's. And actually, Ellis Island, half of it belongs to New York and half of it belongs to New Jersey, and New Jersey wants everybody to know that. So, on my assignment, the process I went through, I look at a lot of internet, I do a lot of internet searches, I read books, fortunately there were quite a few documentaries about Ellis Island, and I felt that the design should be more about the experience, about the immigrants coming through, rather than about a building. And so my design features an immigrant family, the father, the mother, and a little child. And in the background there is the hospital, which is on the New Jersey side. My first design featured that beautiful big immigration building that they
Right.
spent such a long time refurbishing, but unfortunately that's on the New York side, and so the park administration said, no, that's not going to work for New Jersey.
Okay, I'm looking at something I did not see on the coin, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But there's a number on their coats and jackets there.
Yes.
This is something I don't know anything about. What's that all about?
The immigrant families, when they came off the ship, were given a number so that they could stay together, because the women had to go somewhere, the men had to go somewhere, and I think a lot of the children were taken off. Because they all had to go through a medical procedure.
Delousing and
Yes, they
everything.
had to make sure that they did not have any infectious diseases.
So in this case, it was family number 72.
72.
I did. The
And-
coin is pretty small, so I'm glad
No,
we're looking
right,
at it. I
right.
didn't even see that.
Yes. And the nickname for the island is Island of Hope, Island of Tears, which I thought was pretty powerful. So in my design, I have the father looking forward pretty stoically. The mother is looking back. She looks frightened
Yes, definitely.
and maybe a little sad. And the little boy is very happy, and he's even waving an
Yeah,
American flag. He's delighted to be here. My original design had, the little boy had a more subdued look on his face. And some of the people looking at it said, well, they all look so sad.
Yeah.
So I called my boss at the Mint and I said, I can do happy. I can make somebody happy. So I did. I made the little boy happy. And the people who, the committees that chose the coin liked it because it did tell a story, even though for such a tiny coin of the size of a quarter, there's an awful lot going on in this.
There's a lot of detail, yeah. When you compare the Saratoga one to this one is
Exactly.
like 5
Yes.
times the amount of detail.
Yes. Sometimes that's what you need to tell the story.
Well,
So,
it's very well told.
Thank you.
I believe this is water here?
this is water,
Okay.
yes.
You can see the dock in there? Wow, there's just so much stuff.
Yes.
Okay. All right, folks, well, let's, just recently I ordered some coins from the U.S. Mint, and I want to talk about that real quick. And you don't even have to do this. I mean, just go to the bank and say, are the 2017 quarters out? And you can get an original Barbara Fox quarter if you ask for the one from the Ellis Island and so forth. But for those of us that collect coins, these are called proof sets, and they come in hard plastic, and some come in silver, some are non-silver, they're clad in that. But in this particular year, 2017, you get your regular, penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar. I guess I think I have them upside down. Okay, and then there's 2 parts to it, and this one is the quarters. But then when you flip them over, there they are, and I'm always backwards to this one. I think did I had it right. Is that the Ellis Island one? Okay,
yes.
so there's Ellis Island, and then all the others that go with it, and so that's all part of this program, and they make 5 a year.
They do.
And so now you've made in 2011, so go ahead and list them for me. I
I
have for you.
think 2011, 12.
15, 16, 17.
Okay,
honey.
thank you.
I did my research too.
And unfortunately, I will not have a quarter coming out next year. My assignment was for Voyageurs National Park, which is in Minnesota. And I did what I thought was a beautiful design, but it was of a wolf. And we were told after the fact, the park director said, no wolves.
No rules.
So I wasn't the only designer who did that, but
Okay, and one more thing to show you is if you have a little smaller budget, because some of these are a little on the pricey side, you can buy what they call the mint set, and these kind of come in as kind of cardboard holder, and it has actually 2 parts to it as well, and one is made in Denver and one is made in Philadelphia, and they have the exact same coins, except they're not proofs. They're what we call just general circulation, but they're just real shiny. And these are coins that you would get just like you would in your change, but in there are the quarters as well. So you can get these in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Okay, so are there more pictures to your process that we should talk about? Let's keep going then.
yes, I had a little bit about my process. I had some rough drawings
Okay,
on
so
the
let's go back to
PowerPoint.
that on the PowerPoint.
Oh, this is talking about my research, and these are some of the photographs that I used for research. I sometimes get hundreds and hundreds of photographs. When I'm looking at a video, I will sometimes even stop the video and take a photograph because it sparks a lot of ideas for me. I think when you're a very visual person, I really have to see things to spark other ideas.
So
those were some of my rough drawings.
So are these ink and pen, or are this computer generated? How do you do
I
that?
actually do my drawings in pencil on paper. Over the years, I've learned to draw everything separately. Instead of drawing a group of people, I will draw each person separately, and then I can put them on Photoshop and move things around.
Okay.
The circular format is not really easy to work with, so I find it easier to move the elements around.
Okay, and for those that are listening right now on the radio, we're looking at 4 sketches, I guess you'd say, and I can see some elements of each of the components that you had that ended up in the coin, but
Right.
you have some going left, some looking right. Is there any rules on that?
Yes.
Does it
No,
make a difference?
No,
They don't care?
there's no rules about anything like that. The only things we really have to look out for are sharp edges, because that degrades the dye. And so the people in manufacturing get very unhappy when we have sharp edges. For example, that design with the mountain goat, I had him standing on some sharp-edged rocks,
okay.
and they told me, no, you have to round off the edges of the rocks.
Okay.
But the people at the park kept saying, no, our rocks are very sharp. So I went back and forth a couple of times with those designs, trying to make it work, make everybody happy.
So you get these sketches, and so do you submit all the sketches? Or?
No, we have to submit a finished design.
one.
When I first was working with the Mint, we did submit rough sketches, and then the art director would tell us which ones he wanted us to finish up. But
Okay.
now we have 3 weeks to do a complete design. And of course, there will be edits after the fact, but this says 1 to 3 designs submitted. These were the 3 designs I originally submitted. And as you can see, the larger one on the left-hand side, I had the iconic administration building on Ellis Island in the background. And the little boy looks a little sad. So I had to change those.
And the other one you submitted was just a single woman with, looks like her, probably everything she owns
Yes,
tied up
with
in
a bundle.
bundle there.
Yes.
Okay.
And so these were the revisions I made. They liked the image of the woman with the bundle, but they thought the bundle would look kind of funny. So I changed it to a wicker basket. So she's carrying all her worldly goods in a wicker basket, and then I put the hospital building in the background.
And the little boy smiling.
And the little boy smiling and
See,
waving ahead.
these are so cool. These are like little stories that we would never know about the coins. Okay. And so you said these revisions, but there's still 4 designs. So how did we get to the final one?
This design finally goes, all the designs go to 2 committees that are advisory committees for the Mint. One is the Citizens Fine Art Committee.
I read about them.
And one is the Citizens Coin, the CCAC, Citizens Coin
Advisory
Committee. Thank
Right.
you.
You're welcome.
And they will pick out which designs they like best. Sometimes they will send them back for some revisions. Sometimes they will just choose what they like best. And then, like I said, the park itself, the directors at the park will also look at the designs and choose which one they like best.
So when they send you back, so who makes the final decision?
The final decision is made by the Secretary of the Treasury.
Okay.
And so if each of these 3 entities pick different designs, the Secretary of the Treasury makes a final decision.
Are you ever crestfallen when they pick the wrong one?
Oh, absolutely.
So why did you pick that one? From an artistic point of view, I'm sure.
Yes. I will say that my fellow designers are just amazing. They are amazing artists and designers, and I'm almost always blown away by the quality of the artwork that comes through.
Wow.
Unfortunately, because the United States prints or stamps, mints so many coins that their manufacturing process has to be able to withstand this huge amount of minting of coins. So there's a lot of designs that we would like to do that the manufacturing plant in Philadelphia and Denver don't want to do because it's too hard on the dies.
And for those that may not quite understand what we're talking about, they make a thing called a die, and it's round like the coin, and it stamps the metal.
Yes, and I have a picture of
Let's
that.
do it. All right. Is that the next one?
Yes. Well, I think there's a.
Okay.
Okay, this is about the sculpting.
All right.
From our design, it goes to the sculptors, and a couple of the sculptors still work in clay. They've got that shows a plaster base there, and that sculptor is sculpting in clay an eagle.
So
image
what
on
he's
it.
working on is way bigger than a coin.
Yes, that's an 8-inch. And
So-
actually, our drawings are 8-inch templates.
So how do you go from that big thing down to this little tiny
It's
thing?
all computerized now. The sculptor on the right has a sculpting program on the computer.
I see him working with like a stylus there.
Yeah, and they really want everybody to go to that because it's so much more easy to turn that design into a very tiny die.
Okay.
I believe a quarter is 1.25 inches.
Wow. So they really shrink it down. So detail is important, but sometimes too much detail, I guess, would be too much, I suppose.
No,
Doesn't matter.
No, the more detailed, the better. In fact, on my Saratoga quarter, they show.
Yeah.
See these buttons on? This
do,
is General
I do.
Burgoyne's coat. These are the actual buttons. Somebody has the actual. It's in some museum
Looks like a
somewhere. His
plus sign.
actual uniform.
There's like a plus sign on the button.
It's crossed swords.
Oh, cross. Well, see from here,
Yes,
I can't tell.
but this is the pattern on his coat, and those are the actual buttons. And my feeling about it was it's going to be so small no one will know. But I was told you have to do it this way. So I learned over the years that
bet.
no detail is overlooked
Okay.
with the design process.
All right,
People
so
love it.
you start out with the drawing. It goes to committees. They approve it. One's picked. Then it goes to the sculptor, and they make a relief, bas relief.
Yes.
And then what happens next? So let's go to that.
Okay, and then here's the manufacturing, which I don't know. I've been on the manufacturing floor, but it's still a big mystery to me. But on the left-hand side of the screen, it shows a machine that's actually, it's basically writing the surface of the clay and creating an image in the computer that will carve the same design in the metal. And on the middle photograph, that's a die
Right.
and one of the coins that it's
And the die is what
minted.
hits what they call the planchet or the blank that makes the image on the coin.
Correct. And on the bottom right-hand side, that's part of these enormous machines that's spitting out the quarters. I think this machine makes maybe 10,000 coins, mints 10,000 coins a minute.
Holy mackerel, just zips right along. I've seen these at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's just fascinating because you can look down into the floor. Now, have you ever seen them making your coins?
No, not
Okay.
mine.
Can't-
No.
Just couldn't time it just right.
Right. That would be neat.
Okay. Are there any more slides? Or is that it?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Oh, this was the launch. I went to the launch at Ellis Island, and that's a time where they throw a little party, and the press is there, and they pour coins into this. It looks like a treasure chest. They will pour coins from the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, and that's kind of the ceremonial launching of the design. The little kids are showing their quarters. They're given, anybody under the age of 18 is given a free quarter. And it was just a lovely time. I was happy to be able to go. They usually have a bank bring rolls of quarters that people can purchase, and then I'll sign them, and sometimes they have the park director sign them, and it was fun. It was exciting for me to go. And then here are some of my other designs. I've done a couple of congressional gold medals. That's the code talkers.
But those aren't considered coins, right?
No, these are considered medals. We're actually designing coins and medals.
So they're like history, and for special groups like the Dakota Code Talkers, if
Yes.
they had family members or people that collect medals, they're historical, they would put them in their collection, but you can't go
Yes.
buy something with it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, yes. And it's the same with the commemorative coins. The designs over on the right-hand side, I've got our commemorative coins. There's the Girl Scouts, 100 years of Girl Scouts, 100 years of the National Park Service, and the bottom right-hand is a platinum coin, and that was illustrate part of the preamble of the Constitution. And that's the only coin that I haven't bought myself because they're very expensive.
Now, yes, and they only come in 1 ounce now. You used to you could get a 1/10 ounce.
Oh,
when
my
they first
gosh.
came out, I got one of those. But 1 ounce of platinum is like, I don't know, like $1,000 or more. But the question I had that I did think about before the show is, your coins are in copper, not copper, but like composite. Some of them are silver. Some of them look like they were in bronze, maybe, or brass.
They call it a clad,
Okay.
and I think it's mostly bronze.
Okay, and then the metals, what are they made out of?
The medals are, well, usually with the congressional or the commemorative coins, they usually come in three forms: a gold, a silver, and a clad.
So the question I have is, when you're designing, do they say platinum is like one of the hardest metals around? So do they say, boy, we got to be careful how we design that with the platinum, or doesn't matter?
Somewhat. If it's a very small coin like the platinum or the gold, they want things to be a little more simple.
Okay.
Right now I'm doing a design for the American Legion. 2019 is going to be the 100 years of the American Legion, and my assignment is for the gold commemorative coin.
So you're working way ahead of time, like a
Yes.
year or two before they ever come out?
Yes.
Wow. Barbara Fox is my guest today, folks. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and we've been talking all about her work with the U.S. Mint and the coins. But there's more to you than designing coins, isn't there?
Oh yes, I'm a fine artist as well. I paint, and I brought in some of my paintings.
Well, let's talk
today.
about those. I know you have some behind you, and maybe we can zoom in on them one at a time, and you can tell us about them. How's that?
That'd be great.
All right, let's start with the big one. There's a young lady, looks like she's trying to catch a fish in a creek. Or get a drink of water, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's just playing in the water. It's the water, the rocky creek, showing the water flowing over it, and I'm just starting to get into painting figures. It's a challenge. I've done a lot of florals and still lifes, but figures is kind of a challenge. I think drawing in a portrait drawing group for 10 years has helped me a lot. It certainly has helped me with drawing portraits for my design work for the Mint.
So with this particular painting, is this oil or is this
No,
water?
this is a watercolor
That's
painting.
watercolor?
Yes.
Wow. And this is the original? This
This is an original.
Okay.
Yes.
And the question I have is, this looks like a photograph to me. When you first pulled it out, I thought it was a photograph. That's how detailed the water is and the stones. And so how do you look at a photograph of this, or did you
I usually
you just look at somebody and go, oh, okay, that's cool, and you start sketching it, or how's that work?
I usually paint from a photograph because
Okay.
I'm
I know
a
many people
slow
who-
painter.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have wanted this poor girl to be squatting there by the side of the creek for hours on end.
Okay.
And then this middle image is a print from a watercolor painting I did of flowers.
Okay, and let me guess, gladiola.
Gladiola, yes.
I'm pretty good at these
Yes.
flowers things. Okay, and that one, did you sketch out while you're looking at it, or get a photograph? You said?
No, that was from a photograph as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And is that hard to do?
Paint from a photograph?
Yeah.
It's actually easier than painting from life for me.
You can see the lines a little bit better, maybe, or I am just in total awe of artists.
You know what would be fun sometime is to have an artist come in and do a demonstration for one of your shows. It's wonderful. I love watching artists paint.
That would be terrific.
It would be fun.
All right.
And then the final image, I've been doing work in charcoal as well.
Charcoal.
So this is a charcoal drawing.
And this is
of
not a
portrait.
photograph.
This is not a photograph.
I mean, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm sitting here and it looks like a photograph, because we have a lot of the guys here at the studio take pictures from here. So that's just charcoal pencils.
It's charcoal. I used a charcoal pencil and then a white pastel pencil.
I mean, I'm looking at this, and you can look into the woods like at least 500 feet. I mean, it goes on forever. That's amazing. Wow. I'm jealous.
Oh, thank you.
Everything I draw look like stick people, and I really want to draw. I mean, it's like, wow. Okay, so you've been very polite in the sense that you have not said anything about how people can get an original Barbara Fox other than getting the quarter. So if someone was interested in your artwork, how would they get it?
I have a website. It's bfoxfineart.com. I have a studio in Ellicottville, New York. Mm-hmm. It's 42 Mill Street. It's just a couple of blocks from downtown. And I'm there most weekends. And when I'm not working on my computer or drawing at home for the Mint, I'm there almost every day. But it'd probably be a good idea to contact me. I'll give you my email. Mm-hmm. That's bfoxart@yahoo.com. And if you'd like to come to my studio and see some of my other work, I'd be happy to show you around.
Okay, now here's always the question people say, well, that's fancy art, we could never afford that. I was on your websites, and I thought it was very reasonable. So, in general, what's the price range for a typical piece of work that you have on sale?
Well, I have teeny tiny prints, 4 by 4 inches, for $22, and I have very large paintings up to $10,000.
Oh, I didn't see those ones. That wasn't on my Christmas. 10,000. Okay.
So I have a huge range of prices. One of the reasons I started making prints was to have some more affordable artwork. Mm-hmm. This framed print is $235. Mm-hmm. And so I try to make a living at this, and yet I love it when people buy my artwork.
Absolutely. And you know, when we're sitting here talking about all the time and work goes into the design work,
yes,
people don't realize how much time and energy goes into making art.
That's true.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of people think you can just sit and whip out a painting, and I wish that were true, but
these of
it's
quality,
not.
I can whip
Yes.
them out.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy my artwork. We're down to about the last half minute here, and so why don't you tell folks one more time how they get a hold of your artwork. The holidays are coming, folks. I've seen her work online. It's really great stuff. So one more time.
Okay, you can look at my website, bfoxfineart, and come to my studio, 42 Mill Street, Ellicottville, New York.
And when they have their big festivals, I'm assuming you're there, open door. We go there from time to time, and so we'll have to definitely stop in and say hello.
Right.
So they can buy the art online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all available
I didn't
online.
see the $10,000 one. I have to look for that again. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and we've just run out of time. Barbara Fox, thank you so much for coming. This is like a Christmas treat for me talking about coins. So if you want an original Barbara Fox, you have two choices. You can go to her studio and buy her art, or you go to the bank and get one of her coins. It's all good. In fact, you can buy a coin and put it on the picture. That'd be kind of a good combination. So I'll be your marketing manager here in Chautauqua County. Anyways, folks, watch for the weather tomorrow, especially. Be safe. And we'll see you all next time right here on Chautauqua Sunrise next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Be well.